Okay, I don't think anybody's coming in anymore, so we can just get started. Just to quickly introduce ourselves, my name is Bryson. You've seen us give workshops before with the Emeriti Center, and today we will be covering Amazon Alexa and some features that you can use with it. Can go around. Annika, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Monica. I think some of you have seen me before. So I'm going to be a sophomore this coming fall, and I'm excited to be here today.
Hi, I'm Sonali. I think some of you have seen me before as well at some of the previous workshops. I just graduated from USC, and I'm also very excited to be here today.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lois. I'm also one of the presenters from before. Just excited to be here today and help out.
Okay, so we are going to get started. So we're just going to cover like basic features, what you can do with Alexa, some of the like added things you can do, different products that like are similar to Alexa, and we'll just be going through that today. So first, just kind of the basic functions of Amazon Alexa. There's just a wide range of things that you can ask it to do. You can listen to music or podcasts, audiobooks. You can like link it to your Kindle and have it read audiobooks. You can also call family and friends, so like through your phone. You can set alarms and reminders, managing your schedule, which is super helpful. And you can always ask, like if you set events and all kinds of alarms and reminders on your Alexa, you can always ask it like, remind me what I have scheduled for today. Remind me or tell me what reminders I have on my schedule. You can use it to set an alarm, like a wake up alarm. And you can use it to make lists. So just any kinds of lists that'll help you keep track of things that you need to do. Shopping lists, like gift shopping for the holidays. And it really helps you keep track because you can ask Alexa, like, you know, what's on my holiday shopping list, for example. You can use it to turn on the lights and reset the thermostat. That's like linked to your home. And you can also find out other information. You can ask about the weather. You can ask fun facts. You can ask it to tell you a joke or something. You can ask definitions of words, like what does this word mean? So Alexa is a voice-activated assistant. So, you know, if you have an iPhone, it's similar to Siri or Cortana, like on your laptop, if you have a Microsoft laptop, or Google Home. So it's similar to those devices in that it's voice-activated. And like I said, there's lots of different commands. What is the weather today? Like, is it going to be raining today? Can you play classical music or play like my playlist or something? You can ask what the latest news is, so they can tell you like all the breaking news from today. And you know, you can set alarms, set reminders, anything that will help you like stay on top of your schedule and your calendar. Other really helpful commands would be like like I said, reminding me to do blank at a certain time, and then it'll remind you since it's voice activated. You can create a list, so like add paper towels to my shopping list, and it'll help you keep track of everything that you need to look at later. You can also, if it's connected to your Amazon Prime account, you can ask it to order certain products from Amazon for you. So order toilet paper, for example. And you can also ask it to add events to your calendar. Like I said, you can keep track of your calendar that way. What events do I have coming up this week? And you got also like, what time is it? What's the date? Things like that. So also like basic functions like that you can ask Siri. Are there any questions?
By the way, I have Alexa, and look over my shoulder. I'll say, Alexa, turn off the reading light. You didn't hear me there. Alexa just turned off that light behind me.
Yeah, so lots of different functions. It's a very versatile virtual assistant. Here are some of the products that Amazon has. The Amazon Echo Plus is more of like a quality sound kind of device. So it's really the best device for like if you want to play music, listen to audiobooks, things like that. Anything that you need really good quality sound for your living room or even your bedroom. Also, the Amazon Echo Dot, which is not really, because it's not as like a surround sounds system. It's better for like conversing and asking it to set reminders and things like that. So this is more of a like I guess a bedroom kind of thing where you can ask it to set a wake up alarm, something like that, or set your calendar or events on your calendar. There's also the Amazon Echo Show, which can be connected for video calling and Ring doorbell integration, and the Amazon Echo Spot, which is similar to the Echo Show, video calling and connecting to your Ring doorbell.
Do you have any questions till now? Okay, great. So here are some of the pros that we've noted down about Alexa. First one being it's completely hands-free enabled with voice commands like Bryson mentioned. So it has this thing called a wake word. Its default is Alexa. So if you say, hey, Alexa, Alexa will wake up and start listening to you. And you can give it a command at that point and it will execute it. But it being hands-free is super helpful because you don't need to be physically near it. You can just have it somewhere central in your house and you can just say, hey, Alexa, and it will do what you ask it to. You can also link it to any smart devices in your house. So common ones are security systems or thermostats or doorbells. So a popular security system that you can link it to is called Blink. This is a camera that you can set at various locations in your house. And if you link it to your Alexa, you can ask Alexa to turn on your security system, or you can ask Alexa to turn on motion detecting, or you can also disarm your Alexa. And with that, you can set up a pin so that it'll only know to do that once you give it the pin. I put some articles here that you can check out. The first one is this one is a link to Blink. So if you want to order a Blink device, I believe it was around $30 to $40, so not too expensive. And then the second link is how to link Alexa to your Blink device. And it has exact instructions and pictures to show you how to do that. Other thing that Bryson had mentioned is you can link it to a thermostat. So the most common thermostat would be Google Nest. They do a really great job with all their smart devices. So they have thermostats, they have cameras, security systems, doorbells, all smart devices that you can link to Alexa. So here I've also put a link to the Nest thermostat in case you wanted to order that. And you can also, I also have a link here to connect Nest to your Alexa so that you know how to do that. Another really great pro, in my opinion, is it is very helpful in times of emergency. So I actually have a personal story about this one. One of my grandma's friends had fallen last year in her home, and she was alone. She didn't stay with anybody else, and she had fallen pretty bad and was pretty hurt, couldn't get up on her own or anything. So obviously very scary. And if you don't have any phone on you or anything, it's kind of scary. You don't know what to do. But thankfully, she had an Alexa centrally in her home, and she was just able to say, hey, Alexa, please call my daughter, since the Alexa was linked to her phone. And the Alexa called her daughter, and she was able to tell her daughter that she was hurt and that she wanted her to come over ASAP. And thankfully, that was the thing that saved her. So very, very helpful in times of emergency. Next slide. So here are some cons, nothing too significant, but the first one being it needs to be connected to your Wi-Fi. So like Bryson mentioned, some of the commands like, hey, give me the latest news or tell me what the weather is, Alexa is going to have to connect to the internet in order to get you that information. So if you were not connected to Wi-Fi, you would not be getting that information. So this is a con just because you need to have Wi-Fi enabled at all times and set up in your home. Additionally, Alexa stores any information on the cloud. It stores it specifically on AWS, which is Amazon's cloud. It is susceptible to hackers, but Amazon has been really great about getting their security pretty good because they have pretty big clients and can't afford to have a lot of security issues. So I'd say it's pretty secure, although we have noted some hacking incidents, but in general, pretty safe to use Amazon's cloud. Another thing is that voice recognition isn't quite perfect. It is AI based, so over time it will learn and adjust and adapt to your own voice. So initially you might notice that Alexa will say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said. Could you please repeat that?" This is just her learning how to adapt to your voice, and you will notice that it does do that over time. And finally, the microphone is always listening to you because it needs to know when you're going to wake it up. So it's hearing for that call word, Alexa. But it's not actually recording you until you say, "Hey, Alexa," because up until then, it's just waiting for that wake word. So just know that once you say, "Hey, Alexa," it will start recording you, and it will note down some of that stuff. So that's just something to note.
Okay. So setting up Alexa, so obviously you probably already have the device, but when actually setting up Alexa in your home, you want to first download the Alexa app on the App Store. And I think it's free. It should be free, hopefully. And so when you open the app, you sort of just open it to the main screen right here, which is on the far left. And then as you're going along, you'll just say add a device, and then it will give you the option to choose whatever device you want to set up. So obviously Amazon itself sort of has a wide array of devices that you could choose from. For the purposes of this presentation, you would want to set up the Amazon Echo. And within that, there are like different things that you could also do. Next slide. Adding Alexa skills, yes. So there are skills that you could sort of use to make your Alexa, as a quote unquote, smarter. You know, picking up on different phrases, you know, doing different types of things. And so basically it's sort of similar to apps on smartphones where different apps have different purposes. You could basically have your Alexa be, you know, a multi-purpose tool. And the purposes of that is to really just enhance the user experience and to make things easier on you guys as people who are using it.
Tips and tricks for Alexa is you can change the wake word on it. So say, for example, your name is Alexa or whatever, you don't really want to use Alexa as your wake word, because otherwise then you could potentially be turning it on when you don't really want to have it be hearing what you're saying. So you can change the wake word by telling Alexa, say, "Alexa, change the wake word," and then it will give you the options of Amazon, Alexa, Echo, or computer as your wake word, depending on what you want, and then you can choose it. Next. And then also, if this is just a little like fun tip, I guess you'd say, if you don't want Alexa to recognize your actual first name, you can have Alexa call you by a nickname or something if you want. And you do set this up in the app. It's in the little bottom here. You click on the little more in the bottom left, and then you can click on in the top right, the little home, the person thingy, and then right under your name, you can click on the settings, and then at the top right, you can do edit, and then you'll be given a little first name and last name, and you change your first name, and you can like add any nickname you want in that. That's just a little fun tip if you want Alexa to call you a nickname or have a little fun with it. And next. And then also another fun little thing with Alexa is you can play little games with it. So this is nice now if you're like bored when you're sitting at home in your home and not doing anything. So you can say, Alexa, open the Trivia Hero or one of the other lists that Lois was mentioning that you can download games or whatever, which you can explore on your own time. And then you can do those fun little games if you want with Alexa. Next. And then another thing with Alexa is apps they have, or little app-like thingies that you can add on. It's called Recipe Speak. And with this, you can add recipes to your Alexa, or to Recipe Speak, which is the app for the Alexa. And so you can add, say you like chicken tikka masala or whatever. So you can input that, the recipe for that, and then you can say, Alexa, what is the ingredients or whatever for that recipe? And Alexa will tell you all the ingredients. And then also she can walk you through each step if you want, and you can pause it or do whatever you want with that you need help with in the kitchen with that particular recipe. Next. And lastly, there is a little thing on Alexa called your morning routine, and you can find this on the app. You can input a routine. So say, for example, that you read the newspaper every morning. You read like the New York Times. So you can tune in to Alexa like at, 8 o'clock in the morning. You have this set routine where every morning at 8 o'clock she will give you the news from the New York Times.
So this was sort of an issue that was talked about earlier just for a little bit, but issues relating to privacy and sort of, what's being recorded, what's not. There's certainly been a lot of news articles and, blog posts and things like that about people, saying, oh, Alexa's always listening to me, or like some experiments where people will just constantly talk about dog food, even though they don't have a dog. And then Alexa will suggest for them like different pieces of dog food. So first of all, it's really important to be able to sift through what's accurate and what's, jargon. Certainly, as mentioned before, Amazon does a good job of trying to encrypt everything for your personal safety and for your personal security. And obviously, a lot of the suggestions that they make are usually in your favor, just to sort of be a step ahead of, purchases and things you need to buy. But with that being said, with efficiency sort of has to come a sense of security as well. And so when it comes to privacy, obviously, again, interactions with Alexa are encrypted on the AWS, which is Amazon's version of the cloud, and they're stored securely. And you're also, allowed to sort of restrict the things that your respective devices can do. So if it has a camera on it and you're not really using it, you could just turn it off automatically, so that way it's not on. For microphones, things like that, you could have it be controlled by a remote or something like that, rather than it being offset by a voice command. And you could also review your voice history and look at things, look at things that are being picked up and delete them as well. And finally, let's see. You could also, just ask Alexa, why suggestions are being made and sort of try and understand, what the algorithm is sort of suggesting for you and, the reasoning behind it. Next slide, please. So again, for purposes of security, there are ways to sort of balance between being efficient and having everything done for you via Alexa and also maintaining your personal space. So these were sort of things that I sort of found looking around. A lot of people have Alexa free spaces, so just spaces without any sort of device that can pick up your voice or pick up any conversations, just to have that sort of safe space in your home. Again, checking settings and managing your privacy on the app, or turning off specific things on the device that will help you bring, like, I guess, a sense of calm or a little bit of a relief. So that way it doesn't feel like something's listening to you all the time. Something I found also very interesting is, sift through the terms and conditions page. I know it's really easy for us to just scroll through the entire thing and just be done with it. But there's a lot of thing in the fine print that, can go overlooked. So when looking at third-party apps or things like that, being able to look at what their terms and conditions are and what they're offering and what they're doing as well with the app, is certainly very important. And finally, deleting interactions or deleting history with Alexa could also be very helpful in bringing that sense of calm again.
And then to wrap this up, I found some of these cool stats about Alexa that you might find interesting. First and foremost, it has over 100 million users around the world and still growing. This is pretty cool because you know that people like it and people want to keep buying them. And I believe Alexa also comes in several different languages, so you can change it to a different language if you prefer to speak to it in that language. Another thing is that Amazon has dedicated a lot of resources towards Alexa because it's obviously one of their top products. So they have around 10,000 employees working on this product, which is quite a lot of people working on making this thing pretty good. So like I said, they really care about making it like the best, most secure, and most useful voice assistant that they can. And here are some quotes that I found too. Here's one: nearly 70% of US smart speaker owners use Amazon Echo devices, and it's the most used voice assistant on the market. So if you look at over at the right, we have a little pie chart here of the market share. And Amazon is clearly the topmost leader in this space. Google, Apple, and then a few others are also here, but Amazon has a big share of the market. And finally, Amazon is a very quick learner. Like mentioned, she has certain skills, things like connecting to other third-party apps and learning and being able to give you different information. In 2016, she only had 130 skills, but now in the present day, she has around 10,000 skills and still growing, which is pretty awesome. And so, yeah, Alexa is awesome. Last slide. I put a few starter guides here that you can access. Things like how to set up your Alexa once you actually get the physical device, how to link it up to some of your apps. This is the third bullet point down is one that I usually find pretty useful. It's called the Dummies Cheat Sheet. This one will have all sorts of information to help you get started, has commands that you can give to Alexa and whatnot. Very useful. So you can click on these links and check out how to get started. And thank you so much for attending. We hope you learned something about Amazon Alexa. If you have any questions, now would be a great time.
Are you familiar with an app called Smart Life? It's one that I use. It connects to Alexa, and I use it to control all the lighting in my house. It has a timer. So it'll turn on like different lights at different times. And the nice thing is, like, you could, be in your car and go into your iPhone and tell it to turn on the porch light when you come home. You can control the lights from anywhere. Like if you're in France and want to turn on the living room light, you can tell it to. And with all the with controlling pretty much anything, you have to buy an interface, a little plug. It costs about $10 a piece. And that will, you can hook it up to your coffee maker or whatever you want to control that's electrical. But the main thing I use it for is controlling the house lights.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's super useful when you're on vacation, especially. I know my family will sometimes ask friends to like come on and turn on the lights so that it looks like someone's at home. But if you're able to do it from your phone, that's pretty cool. How did you connect it to your lights exactly? Do you remember the steps that you followed?
As I recall, the first place that you connect it to the plug, not to the light.
Yeah, right.
So you basically, I think you ask Alexa to find it, as I recall. You say, find such and such plug, and it'll find it, and then you can put it into the program. Like I say, the smart light is the best one I've found so far that controls everything, and you can click into it and add things and delete things. And the other thing I like about Alexa too is that when you reach a certain age and there's a chance you can fall and not get up. You can always tell Alexa to call 911. That's a very handy thing. It'll come, but the nice thing is, what I like about it, and I think it's one reason I'm kind of a big advocate for us old folks to have it, is that if you're bedridden or anything like that, Alexa can do a lot of your work for you. You can tell it to call your mother, tell it to call your children, and it connects to the directory in your iPhone. And so you can tell it, you can just be laying in bed and say, call Mary or something like that. And it does it through the speaker. So it's very handy to have. But every time you look at it, I get an email like once a week from Alexa with all these different things that it'll do. There's just thousands of them. It's just one of the handiest toys I've ever had.
Would you please put the last slide back up? I couldn't write fast enough to get the set of references. Thank you.
We'll be sending this to Janet after this so that you guys can, have that to look at for reference.
Okay, thank you.
I believe Elizabeth had a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, is there any connection with the Amazon Fire Stick?
I'm not sure, Sonali, do you?
There is. It'll connect to the Fire Stick. It's kind of tricky, but once you tell it, it finds the Fire Stick, and so you can tell it to change channels on the TV if you want it to. I think with the new Fire Stick, it'll turn the TV on and off. I've just got one, so I'm just playing with the new Fire Stick right now. But it will connect for sure.
And do you have to set up an app or something for that?
I think you just do it through Alexa. You just tell it to find the Fire Stick and connect.
Thank you.
Is it possible to link the Alexa devices? I've got 3 in my house. Is there any way I can link them so that they'll all play the same music throughout the house?
I saw something about that somewhere maybe if you search it on Google, but I remember reading something about how to connect. I don't have one, but I haven't tried it. But.
Yeah, I just looked it up online, and it looks like you can do that. You can pair your Alexa with any other Alexa in your home as well. You just tell it to pair, and then you can select which gadget you'd like to pair. I think it gives you options of Alexa gadgets that it finds within the range of your home, and probably within the network as well. And I don't know if you have names for those devices, but if you have the name, it'll probably give you the name and say, would you like to pair with this one? And
okay.
Yes, I believe you can do that.
I wanted to add that I just asked Alexa to turn on my TV, and my TV went on. I don't ever remember setting that up. So because the Fire Stick is, Amazon related, I think she just knows.
Especially with the newer televisions. The newer televisions is a circuit built in there somehow, and Amazon, Alexa can just find it. I don't know how it does it, but it does. Yeah, because I have 2 TVs, and one of them will turn on with Alexa, and the other one won't.
Also, if you have any suggestions for topics that you want us to cover in the future, you can put those suggestions in the group chat. That would be really helpful as well.
I just wanted to ask if anybody had anything they could share if they have an Alexa at home, if there's something that they personally use it for besides the things that we have talked about.
We had an elderly friend who was in her 90s who was blind, and we bought her an Alexa.
Two Alexas.
We bought her 2 Alexas, and she was able to tell Alexa to read audible books to her and play music for her, and it really
And also to telephone members of the family and close friends, and it would dial for her. So it was an extremely important device, and there was one in her bedroom and one in her living room. And daughter Katie set them up.
I beg your pardon, I did.
Oh, you set them up.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. All right. Give credit where credit is due. But it worked wonderfully.
They're not hard to set up. I like it because if you want a certain kind of music, you do just tell it and it'll play it, but you do have to join Apple Music, and which isn't very expensive. It's like $8 a month. But
it's Amazon Music, not Apple Music.
Oh, thank you. And it plays a nice variety.
It'll also play a specific station. You know, you can tell it to play KUSC, and it'll just
we've instructed it to play KUSC FM radio.
Yeah.
And it came through beautifully out in Riverside.
Yeah, very handy. One thing it'll do too, if you have little kids, you can actually tell it to read a story, you know, like read Little Spider or something. The only danger is that the little kids do learn how to control it.
They learn very quickly.
They really do. But
I actually had one by my reading chair in the living room, and I finally removed it because I didn't know how to go in and sort of reprogram it properly on settings, and it would come on and ask me questions while I'm in the middle of a book, and I found that really annoying.
It had a will of its own. It would just come on.
It would just pop on and start talking, and I have to tell it to turn off. But it happens so frequently that I have no idea what I was doing to trigger it. So I took it out of the room.
While we were talking, my Alexa just came on and told me a package has just been delivered for me, which is kind of nice.
Oh, awesome.
That is very, very good.
Yeah, ours does that too.
What?
It turns yellow when we have a package.
Oh.
It's great because you can beat the porch pilots. You know, as soon as you hear you've got a package, you can run out and get it real quick.
Does yours actually say you have a package? Mine just lights up.
No, mine says so. It says so. Well, you have to say what it does. It lights up, and you said read. You say Alexa, read notification, and then that's what it says.
Well, I'm so impressed, Bill. You're so sophisticated.
I love a gadget. That's my thing. You know, grown-up toys are nice things. I do recommend you look into that program called Smart Life, because it'll tell the Alexa to do all sorts of things, and it's pretty easy to program.
Smart Life.
Yeah, I actually have in my room here at USC, I have 2 sets of lights hooked up, and all I have to do when I come back to the house is say, hey Alexa, turn on lights. We'll turn all of them on. But the best part is if I leave to go to class and I just forget to turn them off because the electricity bill is really expensive and everything, I just go in the app and I can turn it off. But I know I have the 2 plugs that work with the lights, but you can buy the blocks from Amazon, the plugins for the light switches, but there's also off-brand ones that sometimes are a little bit cheaper, but they still work and connect, and they'll send instructions with the outlet that you buy for the light switches. And the best part of it is then you can connect that to your Alexa still, and then you don't have to pay full price necessarily, but because it could get expensive if you hook it up to every single light outlet in your house. So that's what my parents started to do, and they even decided we're about to move. Instead of trying to make it a smart home and say, way too much money trying to make it some smart home. They're just buying Amazon outlets because it works just the same, but it's ridiculously cheaper than trying to build a smart home. So pretty cool.
I actually bought one, a cheap one at the drugstore. It was just fine. I had no problem with it at all. It was just on sale at the drugstore.
What did they call those plugs for the lights that turn on and off a light? I presume you leave the light on and then you tell the switch to come on or off, correct?
Just call it interface, aren't they? I forgot what they call them. I think that, yeah. If you look on Amazon, there'll be a lot of them that are different ones that are, some of them will hold 2 or 3 lights and all that. But I can't remember what they call them, so I think interface.
Thank you.
We can, I'll work with the other Gerotech presenters and we can find out what you can look up to find the outlets, what
Thank you.
you need to type in to search. Yeah, they're so helpful. And then another thing that I found is helpful in my family is we ended up getting an Echo and putting it in the kitchen, which is one of the best places to put it because you can set multiple timers. So you could say, hey, Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes for my chicken. And then it will label the timer for your chicken. And then you could set a whole bunch of other timers and say it's for your green beans or for your potatoes and everything. And it'll say, start ringing when your timer goes off and tell you what it's for. So it's not like you have all these timers going off and you don't know what it's for. So that's another great thing is that you can label your alarms and have multiple going. And it's so much better than setting timers on your phone because you don't have to use your hands if you're cooking and everything. So you don't have to touch your dirty phone and wash your hands again. And so that's another great thing.
Do you need a special app for that?
No, that's just, you have Alexa plugged in and you can just talk to her, say, telling her to set alarms and everything, or timers.
I just put a link to one of those smart plug things that Courtney was talking about. It's compatible with Alexa along with other products too, so you can check that out. Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yeah, I just looked on Amazon and they call them smart outlets.
Yeah.
Smart outlet.
Smart outlets, yes, that's what.
Oh, another really helpful thing with the smart outlets is when it comes Christmas time and we have, I don't know about anybody else, but my parents hang up way too many lights or Christmas trees and everything. So they hook it all, yeah, they hook all the lights and the Christmas tree lights to a Alexa plug. So then at the end of the night, my dad would just say, Alexa, Christmas off. And all the Christmas lights would go off so that he doesn't have to go and say to each outlet saying, turn this plug off, turn this plug off. He just, because you can create groups on the app of your smart plugs. So you could have 3 lights in your bedroom, but call it bedroom lights so that you could be saying, Alexa, bedroom lights on, bedroom lights off. But if you only want your nightstand on in the bedroom, you could still name just the nightstand as well. So you name the plug, but then you also can create groups. So it makes it easier to turn on a set of lights as well.
Thank you. My only concern is you think there are way too many Christmas lights. Ah, humbug.
Oh, you haven't seen my house. I think we have like 12 or 13 Christmas trees. And that's just, you turn one way and in one room, there's one in the corner, there's another one in the corner, there's another one in the corner. It's...
All right, I take it back.
Anybody else have any suggestions? I think someone has their hand raised. Elizabeth? Maybe not.
I forgot to take it.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So the some of the Geritech presenters also put, I think they already told you guys this, but if you missed it, they have the link in the chat for the smart plug.
So in terms of future workshops, if anyone has suggestions, I think we want to try and plan with the Alumni Association a workshop to cover more of the details of Facebook. We kind of glossed over like a number of different social media platforms in our last workshop if you attended that. So we really want to go into in-depth with like setting up account and all the details and features of Facebook in our next workshop, which will probably be in August sometime. So if you're interested in that.
So you can have a single group with multiple Echo devices.
So did anybody that's here today that also joined our social media workshop, did anybody download Instagram or create a Facebook or learn something new if they had one?
I set up WhatsApp and been using it for phone calls. It's very handy. I never had to use it.
Definitely.
I never used it before you guys told me about WhatsApp.
One of my favorite apps for communication. I talk to all my relatives in India through WhatsApp, which is great because it's all free.
I think I got a better sound than using the FaceTime.
I agree.
That's terrific.
It costs nothing. That's a nice thing.
You can talk to them on Echo on Alexa.
No, it's for WhatsApp on the computer. It's a different. I jumped back to last week's, when they told us about all the different social media things, and it's a program called WhatsApp.
Did you receive a guide from Bob as well? I had put together a detailed WhatsApp guide so that you can go through and set up and look at different features. I don't know if Bob has sent that out yet, but might be helpful.
No, it hasn't.
Okay, I can remind him to do that, but
I think that was sent out to just the Alumni Association. That's one.
Oh, okay.
So we can send it to Jeanette as well.
Yeah.
Right, and Courtney.
That'd be great.
What is it?
By the way, on future topic, is Yvonne still on? Yvonne and I have been working on a list of senior housing opportunities. And it'll soon be on the website, but it's also might be a topic for one of these seminars.
That'd be great. Yeah, Yvonne has talked about it a little bit and how you guys are working together on that. I don't think he's on the call right now, but that definitely would be great to help promote to people as well.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I'm looking for a new place to live myself. So I'm working with the list doubly.
There you go. Does anybody have any idea of topics that they want to see in the future as well? I know we always do send out our survey. We're trying to plan much more in advance so that it gives you guys more time to sign up. We do have an earthquake preparedness up in September. We have, we're going to try and get a restorative yoga session either in August or November. We're also going to do a little event with one of the OT graduate students. It won't be a normal Friday Zoom session, and we'll talk more about it next week, but it'll be about sleep and for healthy aging and how to get better sleep, and not just hours, but quality sleep, and just how much it can affect your body. And it will be a smaller group discussion, so that'll be great. And then I'm looking, if anybody has any ideas, you can always email the Emeriti Center. I thought it'd be great in the beginning of October to brush through kind of just the election and what's to be expected, or obviously it's a controversial topic and I don't want to get into the controversy of it, but just with the election coming up, it's history, and an election is always historic, so it'd be something great to discuss. If anybody has any presenter ideas, you could always reach out to us. So we have some great stuff lined up, and we have some open spots, so if you have any ideas, you can always let us know.
There's a wonderful professor of political science, Robert Shrum, and
Mike something.
he and Michael.
Something.
Mike Murphy.
Say it again, please.
Mike Murphy.
And Mike Murphy. And the two of them have conducted 2 programs for the Dornsife Dialogue series for the college. If either one of them would be available for one of our Emeriti sessions to talk about the coming election and the difficulties being thrown up, reducing polling places and making it more difficult for some communities to vote. I think it would be very educational.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
I have a question. In order for our Alexas to turn on the lights, do we need, my Alexas are a couple of years old. Are they too old to, is there a newer version that turns on the lights?
Smart outlet.
I don't think so. If you're talking about the actual like Alexa Echo or the Echo Dots like that, you won't need it.
I have the Echo Dot 2 and 3.
You won't need to update that from what I know. I can also look into that, or some of the Gerotech presenters can look into that for you. The only thing you need to purchase is the smart plugs outlets, and then you can connect it. What's great too is when you receive those, they tell you step by step. There's usually an instruction little manual in the package that you'll receive, and they'll tell you step by step and kind of help you through the app as well. Because when you connect it to the app, it will be easy. Like you could turn it on and off from your phone if you are too lazy to even talk to Alexa, which I am sometimes. Or, and that's where you can create groups or rename it and everything for various outlets. But you shouldn't need a new Alexa.
Yeah. I have a very old Dot, maybe 3 years old, and mine works just fine for that.
Why did you say very old in 3 years?
In electronics, that's pretty old. When it gets down to electronics. But what I was going to say too, when you do this, you can name each light or each appliance. And like if I decide to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I say Alexa, turn on the living room light, and that way I don't trip over the furniture.
Good idea.
It's very handy for that sort of thing. And but you can name each light or each appliance, and you can tell it to turn all of them on or just turn on them individually. But it's done through the smart plugs, yeah. But you can plug anything in with the smart plug. You can put your coffee maker if you want to, and tell it to come on at a certain time every day, that kind of thing.
So does anybody have anything else to add before we start to wrap it up? We're getting close to 3.
This has been very helpful. Thank you.
And I will be, yes, of course, everybody. I'll be sending out the survey as well, and you can put in there any other ideas that you have for future events. And also I'll be attaching the PowerPoint, and I'll also send the links for the smart plugs and the follow-up email of everybody who's attended. And then next week we have lifestyle balance with the OT graduate students again. It's another great one. They're just fantastic presenters, all with a holistic view of life. So if you're just trying to be better for yourself in a healthier way, obviously, definitely join. But I think that's it. We'll see you guys next week at 2, and just look out for my email with the resources.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.